Hey guys, this is my league and this is the podcast. You are in for an interview treat today. Today we have Morgan DeBaun. Morgan DeBaun doesn't just build things, she builds movements. As the founder and CEO of Blavity, she's behind some of the most powerful brands serving multicultural audiences today. Think Afrotech, Travel Noir, and Shadow and Act. But what most people don't know is that there was a moment a few years in when Morgan realized she was living by rules that weren't hers. In her new book, Rewrite Your Rules, she tells the truth about what happens when you make it and still feel out of alignment. In this episode, Morgan and I talk about the version of success she had to walk away from, the pillars she now uses to guide her life, and why your next level will require you to rewrite everything you thought you knew. We talk money, motherhood, ambition, softness, boundaries, and the quiet power of choosing yourself. This one is rich. Let's get into it.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Right. Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
How are you? New author?
Great. Yes, I'm great. Books out.
Books out.
Crazy.
So I just want to I'm going to get right down to business. And I want to know, why did you feel like now was the time to write this book? And what's been bubbling up inside of you that's like, I have to get this out? Why this book? Why now?
So the book's called Rewrite Your Rules. And I believe that most people are following rules that were not meant for them. And what we're seeing in today's society is that the rules do not apply to the people in power and the people who are successful. And so why are we following them? Because they're not following them. So I wanted to encourage more people and empower more people to know that, like, you can do what you want. You can define the life that you want with your principles and your values, and you're the one who has to wake up in the morning and live that life. So let me show you how to actually live in that truth and give you the methods and tools to do it for yourself, because literally the rules, like, who made them?
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get to them, but super curious to know, was there a version of you that you wrote this book for? Like, is there a place that you were in your life that's like, when would you have handed Morgan this book first?
I would have handed Morgan this book when she was 27 years old. And she had already started the company. I started Blavity at 24. I probably had about 70 employees at the time. And I hated my life, my league. I was like miserable. I had to meditate for like 30 to 45 minutes just to get out of bed and walk into the office. We had a beautiful office, floor to ceiling windows in downtown LA, like popping with beautiful Black people. And I did not like being the boss.
Wow.
I didn't like it, but that's what I had signed up for.
Yeah.
I raised millions in funding. I've raised over $12 million in venture funding. I did the things that I thought I was supposed to do to be successful. And then I got there and I was like, oh, I don't like me.
Okay.
I don't like this version of me. So how do you move forward when I want to get off this hamster wheel. Like, I don't want to raise another round of funding. I don't want to have 500 employees. I don't want to not have kids one day because I decided to focus on my career 24/7. Like, how do I get off of this hamster wheel? And like, that's who this book is for, is the person who's like, I don't want to do it. My life outside looking in looks fantastic. Inside looking out, not so hot.
Not so hot. Okay, so tell us about the pillars. Give us the book that you're handing over to Morgan at that time. And I just have to know, are you still the boss? Like, what happened?
I am still the CEO.
Okay.
But the last chapter of the book tells about how I tried to sell the company and how I was like, I tried to sell the company. I went through the whole process. We went through diligence and disclosures. It was a publicly traded company, so it was a lot of work. And then at the end of $800,000 in legal fees later,
wow,
we decided not to.
Wow. This sounds like a ride of a read. So please tap in. Okay. Give us the 6 pillars.
Yeah.
What is it? What is Morgan's framework? Because it is no secret that you are successful. Though you may not have wanted to be the boss, it is clear that you know something and have something that works really well. Mm-hmm. Give it to us.
Yeah, it works well now. I think it wasn't working so well before. The 6 pillars are pretty straightforward. These are pillars that at any given point, I'm prioritizing 3 of them.
Okay.
So 6 pillars are freedom, stability, wellness, money, passions, and relationships.
Okay.
So at any given point, you can have a stable life, you can make a lot of money, and you can have a really great family life or a relationship with God or a relationship with your church community, but you may not have time for a lot of hobbies.
Okay.
You may not be walking around the farmer's market and making that sourdough bread on the weekends because you're busy working on your family and making money and making sure everything's stable. You know, there's just different seasons in life. And by allowing myself to say, these are the 3 things that I'm focused on right now for this season, it allows me to put everything else in maintenance mode. It doesn't mean that we're not focusing on them. It doesn't mean we're not, doing a little bit when we can, but it means I'm not going to give myself a hard time if I miss my Pilates class.
Okay. Which pillar took you the longest to build? Which is the one that required the most from you?
The one that required me the most inner work was wellness.
Tell us.
Because as an entrepreneur and someone who was sacrificing everything to get to a certain level, it was really hard for me to make the trade-off of like, doing nothing is okay. Like, I remember there were times when we had such a good operating team and operating machine within the business that I felt like I wasn't needed. And so I just found myself making busy work that was having no impact on the business because I felt like working was a part of my value.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't. I had an executive coach that told me, we were going through my calendar, and she said, okay, well, imagine that you need to like catch up on industry news and trends. When would you prioritize that in your schedule? And I was like, after work, probably, like listening to something on Audible. She was like, no, you should prioritize it in the middle of the day because that is your job as a CEO.
Yeah. Conversation that I've been having, and I'm going to write a whole bunch about it, is that I took all of last year off, and then I have been coaching people for almost a year. And if you were to ask me, like, what is the big aha in my league? And I was like, I have not met a single person that needs to work harder.
That's right.
I have not met a single person that needs to work harder. Even if work is an issue, I think that when you said something about like all my value, it's like, there are some values that people have that they don't prioritize. And what happens when you don't prioritize these values is that you always think that the work is suffering. But it's like things like recreation and fun. You know, if that is your highest value, you have to do that. You have to fold recreation and fun. If community is your deal, and by prioritizing the things that matter most to you, I feel like the work begins to sort itself out. So
that's right.
If wellness took you the longest to build, which one came most naturally?
Money, baby. I can make money in my sleep.
Really? Tell us.
Yeah. I mean, money is something I've always just felt like abundance of coming in and out of my life. And I know how to make a lot of money. The question is, am I willing to do the thing to make a lot of money? Okay. And the thing that changed was I decided what was enough. So there's a chapter in the book where I talk about being rich, where you're really accumulating things. You're accumulating titles, you're accumulating houses, cars, a number in a bank account to say, I'm a millionaire, I make 6 figures a month, and all these milestones. And I made this shift from that to wealthy, which is how I spend my time. And money is a tool to allow me to enjoy other things, which maybe is still caviar on a Tuesday whenever I want. But it also is being able to have a nanny so that I have more free time for myself and my son is taken care of. Like, it's also spending it on other things that buy back my freedom or my ability to spend time on my passions or things like podcasts and things like that. So the trade-off of money is not always worth the time at this stage in my life. And I say this from a point of privilege. Like, I have gotten to a level of comfortability where I can say, like, work is helpful for making money, but it is not the only thing. I can make money in my sleep through stocks and all types of different things.
Yeah. So for those who haven't gotten there, what would you say if they're going to be focusing on 3 of these 6 pillars and money is one of them?
Yeah.
They haven't reached their point. What do we need to know?
So for money, the thing that is important about money is I believe you have to have a really clear why. What is the money to be used for? So beyond just the house or mortgage or food, what else are you looking to add more money into your life? Why? And what are you going to use it for? Because when you get really clear on what it's used for, sometimes there's other ways you can accomplish that outside of money. So I talk about this framework of basically outlining your wealthy vision. It's like this rich, juicy, if I had all the money in the world, this is what I would do. This is how I'd spend my time. I'd have a personal chef. I'd spend a month in Italy, whatever. Like all of the beautiful things that are rich to you.
Okay.
And then I want someone to actually walk through that vision of how much does it cost?
Okay.
How much does it cost? Is it actually as expensive as you think? Because every single person I've done this exercise with, it is not as expensive and as unattainable as they think.
Oh, yeah. It's like you because you haven't laid it out, you have this impossible number, but if you write it down, it's like maybe it's not that pricey. So I want to talk about, you have done a great job of building your network. And in your book, you talk about the difference between mentors and advisors. Can you break that down to us?
Black people are over-mentored. My league. We are like, I'll be your mentor. I want a mentor. Can you be my mentor? I'm sure you get a DM every day asking someone asking you to be their mentor. Here's what a mentor is. A mentor is someone who is invested in you, your well-being over a long period of time. It is someone who's going to ride or die with you through ups, through downs, like life changes, marriages, divorces, second degrees, whatever. Like it is someone who's like your ride or die. And you can call them and you're going to have an in-depth conversation where they're really going to mirror back to you what you are prioritizing and then give you some advice. An advisor is a tactical person who has experience accomplishing exactly what you want to accomplish. Okay, very different. And their job is to help you get there with less stress, less pain, and hopefully spending less money than what it took them to get there.
Right.
More people need advisors to help them solve very tactical problems in their life. For example, someone says, I want to quit my job and I want to be an entrepreneur, which is why they're like, Morgan, be my mentor. And I'm like, no, you need to go find someone who has quit their job and started a business that's the same business you want to start.
Okay.
And then have them walk you through those steps.
Are they paying for this or not?
So in the book, I talk through different ways to barter with people so that you can get what you need if you are just getting started. But eventually, at some level, you will have to compensate people with cash. Sweat equity or cash. Those are your 2 options.
Okay. What's your rule of thumb for deciding who belongs in your inner circle of influence? Because I feel like inner circles are important. How do we build this? How did you build yours? Rule of thumb.
You know, it's happened naturally for me. I'm an introvert. So I'm not very good at like give and take if I don't genuinely feel connected to someone.
Okay.
So I can't just network with people just because like that person has some sort of title or access or something that's interesting. It just doesn't work for me.
Okay.
So my inner network and my group of people are like people who are my ride or dies. These would be my mentors, like my peer mentors, people who I want to just hang out with because they bring me joy and we have a good time.
Okay.
And or I learn something from them. So we're just in an intellectual back and forth, which I find as someone who loves to learn, like that is so fulfilling for me and it's so fulfilling for them.
Okay.
I think I'm probably contrarian in that way. I mean, I think people have different ways that they build their inner circles, but that's how mine has naturally been created.
Okay. What's one way someone can show up confidently when they feel underqualified in a room full of power players? So you said you're an introvert. You naturally just, whoever I gravitate to, these are my people.
Yeah.
But if I'm feeling underqualified and I'm like looking around the room and I'm like, oh my God, I know this person. I know what they do. What can we do?
God put you in that room for a reason. There is a reason he decided that you are getting this opportunity to be in this room and to be with these people, and you share the exact same airspace as they do. So you are just as worthy to be there and breathe it. When I was raising money and getting invited to all these really exclusive Silicon Valley conferences and private retreats in Hawaii, I used to not leave the conference room. Like I used to not leave my room in the hotel because I had so much anxiety about being around these founders who billionaires, you know. I mean, I was in rooms with 30 to 50 billionaires and people who've exited their companies for 100, 200, 300 million dollars or in their second or third startup. And I didn't leave my room. Like I wouldn't leave my room because I just felt so much like, what are we going to talk about?
Okay.
I don't even know how to have a conversation with you.
Really?
Like you started Indeed.com or LinkedIn or, you know, these tools that we all use. And it took me a while to build the muscle and the personal confidence to say, you are here. You worked so hard to get here. Honor yourself. Honor that hard work. Honor the opportunity and the privilege that it is that there's another Black girl who worked just as hard as you who isn't here. And you have a responsibility to step into your greatness and to step into confidence and represent your company and represent your employees and represent your investors in this room. And I think that's one of the things about rewriting your rules is you have to decide what the rules are for you that you want to live by. And so one of the things that has become part of me is I'm going to step into my greatness. I'm going to step into the gifts that God has given me, even as an introvert when it makes me so uncomfortable. Like I'm going on tour where I'm going to have to meet hundreds of people, shake their hands, give them hugs. That's like so much anxiety for me.
Okay.
You know, I'm excited to meet people. I love being able to communicate with people and help them through their life and their dreams. But the like concept of it is overwhelming. But I have to push through that. I have to push through that overwhelm.
Okay. I want to know how you're going to do that because this is a big deal. People are excited to meet you. I can't tell you, I probably on a monthly basis, people are just, they love you. The people love you. And I think just having that foundation, you know what I mean? It's just the catching the energy that everyone is going to have for all the things that you have done to assist them in the growth of their life. So I want to, what's the push through? What are we doing? What's the...
Just surrounding myself with the people who bring me calm. You know, my fiance Josh is coming with me on a lot of the stops. My mom or my chief of staff will be there. So just doing the things that I know I need to do to manage myself. And master yourself is the first part of the book, which is like, how do you identify those areas where you need a little bit more TLC? And then how do you build a system and a framework to support yourself through that? And that is a part of self-awareness and self.
This episode is brought to you by Audi. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV. It's a new way to experience driving. The all-new fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron is here. The next chapter of Audi starts now.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Growth is saying it's okay that you feel anxiety going into this room. Go into it anyways.
Yeah, it's new.
It's okay.
Okay. How do you balance this ambition that you have and this sort of softness in your life? You know, how do you hustle? How do you balance the hustle and human?
Oh man, it's tough. I try to work in sprints. So I try to work hard in batches. I feel like you do things very similarly, where like you'll go hard and then you like take a season of rest. And so I do that as well. I will like go in sprints and work for 2 weeks or 3 weeks where I'm like really prioritizing accomplishing a goal or fixing a problem or, you know, expanding something in the business. And then I take a few weeks where my family is the priority, and everything from a morning walk with my son to making his little breakfast to tucking him in at night, that's a priority. And I allow myself that ebb and flow because that's what actually helps me show up best. And then I also communicate when my priorities have shifted to the people around me. So like I will proactively communicate with my partner, hey, I've got a couple of weeks coming up that I'm going to be really busy here. Like, how's your calendar looking? How's your schedule looking? Like, are you going to be in town? Or do we need my mom to step in? Like, book tour season, my son is sleeping at my parents' house.
Okay.
Because I'm gone. And I needed baby to come with me. I mean, my baby, my fiance to come with me to take care of me.
To take care of you on this. And you have your parents. So because we are, this is for the podcast, but we are live with the mamas today.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to know how motherhood has been for you. I want to start with the unexpected.
Yeah.
What was most unexpected about motherhood for you?
Well, Myleik, I have one thing that's unexpected, which is baby number 2. You can't see it.
Oh, congratulations.
So baby number 2 said, I'm going on tour, mama.
Baby number 2 said, we outside.
We outside.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're ready to enter. There are so many moms of multiples in the group. And so we know.
I need all the tips.
Yes.
From you and everybody else.
I see the chat is going. The chat is like blowing up. It's like you said, give us all the tips. Okay. So now you're going
I'm telling you guys first. I haven't told anybody.
We are so excited to be the first to know. So how has it been? Just like, how did it feel to know that you're going to be expecting a second, and you have your business, and you have your book, and you have your son?
Yeah.
How does it feel? Are you?
Well, I first felt my wedding was supposed to be in August. I would be like 8 months pregnant.
Yes. Isn't it? It's life.
So I cried for my wedding dress and my beautiful Costa Rican wedding and all of the yachts and fun things and beautiful friends and family that were going to be there with us. You know, so I cried a lot of tears grieving the my baddie era. I'm like, look at my arms, you know? It's like, we're back, baby.
That's exactly when you get pregnant. I just want you, the minute you get in shape, your body's like, oh, perfect.
This is great.
This is exactly what we needed.
That's right.
To do it again.
That's right.
Okay.
And, but once I got through the grieving of what I was going to do, I'm so thrilled. I mean, it's beautiful timing. They'll be 2 years apart, so it'll be literally perfect. And we wanted to have a second kid eventually within the next 18 months anyways. It's just a little bit fast. So I think, you know, I have a little bit of mixed feelings just because I know when I find out that I'm pregnant, everything changes. Just like I'm sure it was the case for everyone, right? It's like you really prioritize, wellness becomes a pillar. Wellness was not a pillar.
You have no choice. It leaves you with no choice, right? It's just like I feel like children have such a way of implementing, like forcing your hand on boundaries, you know,
Yes.
and forcing you to be the person you said you wanted to be.
That's
so if
right.
you want to be an active and involved parent, you know, it is today. I know what time chess is over. And it's like, if I want to be there to get my kid, I know what time I got to talk to Morgan. I know what time, if I can make it to the store, if someone's going to the store. I feel like that has been the gift of my children, is they have forced me to be who I say I am.
Mm-hmm. If your children are going to be your center, then all the other decisions around that decision becomes really clear, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. And when you say center, and I've talked to so many moms and moms that are, you know, moms that are succeeding and doing well, I think it's like, it's a moving center, you know. There are some times when you are shining the most focused light on them, like, you know, like you're beaming it. And then there are times when the light opens up and you're shining your light on more people like this. You're writing books, you're going out, you're doing book tours. And like, because I do believe, Morgan, and we're going to get back to this interview, I do believe that shining like the most concentrated light on your children can burn a hole in them, which is really why I started my mom group. I was like, I got too much mom energy for my kids.
Somebody else.
I gotta give this. Let me shine my mom energy on some other mamas, on some other babies, because I fear that I may burn a hole in my kids. You know, my light is strong.
And we're grateful for you for shining it on the rest of us, because
Yes.
before I was even pregnant, I was like, what am I talking about?
I know. You came over and you helped my son. You got all that baby energy, and he just turned 7. You held him. He was a baby.
You're so
And
small.
now he's saying,
And
bruh.
really, you were the person who really taught me. I talk about this when people ask me about dating and finding my partner. You were the person who said,
I remember.
baby girl, you got to go. You got to change some things. You're looking for the wrong man, honey.
Yeah.
And you got me to read, was it Alpha Woman's Guide
Yeah.
to Marriage and a
Yeah.
few other books. And I read them and I did the things, and I took feminine energy classes and I did all types of stuff. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you
Sometimes.
for that.
You're welcome. I know. That's the thing. When people go out with me, I'm like, okay, do you want me to tell you the real thing? Because sometimes we get in an echo chamber and everybody around us is telling us the same thing. And then, like you said, an advisor is like, as someone who has run a company and wanted partnership, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to have two exact types in a home or in a
Yeah.
partnership, like with a family.
Yeah. And you know what the thing, I know we're going left a little bit, but I
Yes.
actually do talk about this in my book. Like I talk about how I had to reprioritize dating and look for a different type of person. And I misunderstood what an alpha man was.
Tell us. This is what we came for.
I misunderstood. I thought an alpha man was like someone who worked hard and made all the decisions
Come on.
and did all the things and was the boss. And actually, an alpha man who's like, oh, baby girl, let me take care of you. Let me do the dishes. You don't lift a finger, you poor little cute little princess. Don't lift a finger. I'll think I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll make the decisions. But it comes from a sense of like care and compassion, which is very different than the type of alpha masculine energy that I originally thought alpha men were. Like my partner is the kind of man where I'm like, honey, I'm feeling unsafe. Like the world is chaos. Like, I don't know. And he comes and buys like a 2-foot safe and like water filters for the house and like new security
What do you need?
locks.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I
Versus
hear you.
like gaslighting me and being like, okay, I'm gonna go get a gun. I'm like, that's not what I said. Actually.
I think it's such an important, we have gone left. We're going to stay here for 2 more seconds, but I think it's such an important conversation to have of like what we've been sold alpha or whatever the heck it is really is. And it's like, what is all that anyway? But it's just like, can you be with someone who sees you and hears you and sort of like, I think for me, it's just like, I know what I have. I'm very confident in what I am capable of doing. Like you, my pillars are like, I know how to make money and I know how to do it really easily. But when it came to building the kind of family that I wanted to be a part of, I had to partner with someone who really had the experience, but not only the experience, but the patience to be with someone like me. And like I just was telling a friend, like he'll be like, oh my God, a new park opened up. I'm taking the kids to the new park. Are you coming? And I'm like, I
Yeah.
And I'm just
like,
like,
no.
and he's like, I'm like, I don't want to go, but I feel like I should. It's an invitation. Come this time or don't. We're going to go. And someone who's not judging you or making you feel like you're a bad mom because you don't like the park like they do. I ended up going to the park and it was just fine.
Because you wanted to, not because you had to.
Not because I had to. Okay. We're going to 2 more questions and then we're going to let you go. Is there a chapter or passage that you return to yourself in your book when you need a reminder or reset? What do you return to?
So there's a chapter in the book called Be the Rough Draft. And I have to remind myself sometimes that it's okay to be the rough draft in my own life. Like, it's okay that as a first-time author, I don't know if I'm going to hit a New York Times bestselling list.
I wish we didn't do that.
I don't know if I'm going to get a bestseller. Like, I didn't spend the first 10 years of my life building my personal brand. Like, Blavity is not called Morgan LLC. It's called Blavity. I walk into Afrotech, people have no idea I own it. They're talking all types of stuff and they're like, I love it here. Or like, I don't like the food, and, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like great because I can live my life and I walk through the airport and nobody stops me. But the downside is in moments like this, I'm like, so just allowing myself to be a first timer when you're writing a rough draft of something, you're not judging yourself. You're just writing the rough draft. Like, it's a draft, it's going to go through edits. You're going to get feedback. You're going to work on the introduction and the conclusion and you're going to work it out. And so just allowing myself to be in that phase, even at this stage in my life, after so much success, at even being a parent, like, it's okay.
Baby, it's the whole thing is a rough draft. The whole experience is a rough draft. Can I just share with you, because I love sharing with the community. I asked my son, I went out for a walk and I came back and I said, "Where's Dad?" He said to me, and he didn't even make eye contact with me, "I don't know. Am I expected to keep up with everybody in this house?" I was like, we 1 day into 7. The whole thing is a rough draft. I text like, why am I here? What do I do? I am unclear. So yeah, the whole thing's a rough draft. I just want to say this to you, Morgan, before I get to my last question. I understand, like, I talk to a lot of people about a lot of books, and I don't know when, becoming a bestseller or all of these things became like the highlight of this. And it's just like, you have done some incredible work over the course of your life. And this is a book that needed to be written by you in this time. And whether people get it today, whether they get it tomorrow, or whether they get it in a decade, like, it is best selling in that way. And I always say there are no bad ideas. It's just, are the people ready for this wonderful offering? So with that being said, what is one idea in the book you hope lives rent free in people's heads after they close the last page? I've closed the book. What do you want me to take with me?
I want you to take with you that at any given point, you can make a decision to go a different way. And you can go back through these steps. And not only can you, I expect you to. You have to. Your life at different levels of your life are going to require of you that you go back through and you reevaluate your values, your pillars, how you're going to get there, the people around you, and how you're going to move through these blockers that are inevitably coming your way.
All right. So tell us, we're buying the book. Tell us where we can find you on tour. Give us all the scoop, and congratulations again. We are so excited. Especially, I'm so glad that you were able to share with the mamas, because the mama love is real.
Thank you. Yes. So you can visit rewriteyourrules.com for all of the free tools and downloads and worksheets so that you can apply this to your life. That's really important, is like, the book is meant to be a working book. And then I'm going on tour. I'm going to Houston. I'm going to New York. I'm going to LA with some of my favorite people. I'm going to St. Louis, where I'm from, and Atlanta, March 31st. Yeah. Sunday. So I'm really excited to get in front of people. And I'm happy to come to new cities. We'll keep adding cities as the summer rolls on, as I get rounder. I'll just waddle on in there. Just bring me a snack. Thank you, my friend. Thanks, mamas.